Today we're checking out a way to send audio over a Cat5 cable using the Catapult system by Radial. There are 3 different versions of this product. There's the Catapult Mini, which has options for 4 XLR or 4/4 inch. You have the regular Catapult, which adds a passive pass-through and a split option. There also is the Catapult Rack, which has a total of 12 XLR channels with splitting and can be put into a rack. So running audio over Cat5 can be really beneficial to not have to run multiple long XLR cables. Instead of having to run 4 cables, you can just run 1. And it also has the benefit that you can run audio signal very far with Cat5 audio without any signal loss. So I personally used this product at 3 different shows recently. I'm going to show you how I used it, explain how it works, and see if this is something that's right for you. If you've seen my channel before, you know that I kind of have a phobia of cables, and I love having a clean stage, so this is a really cool product that can help me achieve that. I do want to say many thanks to Radial for sending this over for me to check out for the channel. This is not a paid video or anything like that. They sent it over for me to try out, and all the opinions in this video are my own. That's enough of the intro. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and let's check these out. So I personally have the Mini and the Rack. I don't have the regular one, but I'll address that here in a little bit. Let's start with the Mini first. This is pretty simple. On the transmitter side, you have this one with 4 XLR cables hanging out of it. It is very nice because they are color-coded and numbered as well, which makes it easy. And then you have this one, which is the receiver. Same idea. You have 4 XLR cables over here, and they are all labeled and numbered as well. So plug whatever you need to into the transmitter side and then just use a Cat5 or Cat6 cable and connect them to each other. And that's it. There really isn't a whole lot more to this. 4 audio signals over 1 cable. And yes, you can use this type of cable as well, which I'll probably do a lot for this demo just to keep it easy for filming. And I'll go over some of the questions about cables later in the video. But there you go. Unbelievably simple. And they also do have this version, which comes with 1/4 inch TRS balanced cables on one side as well. And you can also use that to send the signal. Not a whole lot more to go over with this. So let's check out the Rack version. So with the Rack, transmitter, and receiver, you can see that there are 3 different sections, A, B, and C, and each of them have 4 XLR inputs or outputs for a total of 12. And on the back, you can see for each of them, A, B, and C, you have a spot to connect your Cat5 cable to, as well as a second one for splitting it, which is very cool. So you can run 12 channels of audio over 3 Cat5 cables, and you can split the signal as well and send it to a separate location, which is really cool. So yeah, out of A of the transmitter, I'm just going to plug into A on the receiver, and I would do the same thing for B and C as well. But I can also route what's going into A to a second location. So this acts as a split as well, which is very cool. And also, yes, you can combine any of the catapults together. So I could go from the Rack into one of the Minis, for example. That is possible to mix and match any of these. In all 3 sections on the Rack version, you can see that there is a ground lift on the transmitter and the receiver, which is really nice if you're getting ground noise. And also you can see that the Rack can be detached, so you can flip it so that this side is what sticks out of your rack, so you can set up in the way that works best for you. Pretty sweet. And last but not least, like I said, there is the Catapult TX4 and RX4, and you can see that this one has 4 inputs here for XLR, but it also has 2 outputs, just like the Rack version. But on top of that, you also have 4 pass-through outputs as well. Again, I don't have this one specifically. There are a couple of different models of this, and I will link to that down below if you are interested in checking that out more. I just personally have the Mini and the Rack, so I don't have any experience with this one, but I will have more resources down below. Also notice that none of them need power. They all work passively, which is very cool. You should be able to understand which one is right for you based on what they all do. All 3 of them have different types of specs and are meant for different situations, so you should be able to figure out which one is right for you. So I personally used it at 3 different shows recently. So the first show, I used this with my drummer in my 90s band. This actually worked out great because my drummer has a small kit. He just has a cajon for the kick. He has a snare. He has the SPDSX sample pad, and then a kazoo. Yes, electric kazoo, and he is the lead kazoo player in our band. That's 4 signals. The Catapult Mini worked perfectly for this type of setup. Now, this show in particular, it was a pretty short run. Staging area was pretty small for this, so I didn't get to utilize it in a really long cable run. However, I always try to use these products live before I do a video about them. So I was still going to use it. He was very excited about how simple it was to get the drums into the mixer, and it worked out great. So the second show was with a band that I play with sometimes called Top Shelf. Really great band. and I play with them a good amount of times throughout the year. And it's perfect because I always tease them and say that playing with this band is always what gives me my cable phobia, because they have so many different inputs that they have to run, and they have a big Behringer X32, not like a rack, but like the full version, and they run it to the other side of the stage, so there's very long cable runs. And I was like, this is the perfect band to try this out with, because they give me my cable phobia. But they also said it's only fair because I always bring the rain whenever they're playing outside, so it's completely fair. But I was like, this is perfect for this band, and I used it at that show. I ran 3 wireless mics and my wireless guitar into this, and it was perfect because this one was a much bigger stage, and I brought a 25-foot Cat 5 cable, and it worked perfectly. Ran it behind the drums, had to only run 1 cable for 4 signals. Really easy, really convenient, worked out really well. And it was so nice not to have to run 4 25 or 50-foot XLR cables from the mixer. Just running one of them saved so much time and made it cleaner, because again, my obsession is with a clean stage as much as possible. Now, show 3, I am actually doing this weekend. I have to drive down to New Mexico, and I'm also playing with Top Shelf again down there. And for this one, I'm going to bring the Radial Rack, because I want to run the drums and those wireless and a couple other things into it this time as well. I have so many shows this summer, and I'm still trying to release at least 1 video a week, so the way that I film and then edit and stuff like that, but I'm going to have to cut now to future me going over how it went. If you are finding this video helpful, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button and feed the YouTube algorithm gods, and consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this in the future. All right, so I'm using the rack today for my show in Santa Fe, and I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but so drums are going into these 4. I have my vocal, my guitar, female vocal, bass, and then bass vocals all going here. And they go, it looks messy, but I mean, imagine this with 12 cables instead. 3 Cat 5 cables going behind the drums. I'm just gonna walk around this way. Again, it looks messy, but imagine it with 12 cables instead of just the 3. But now they go into the back of the Behringer over here. So I'm realizing that, like, after doing this, these don't come with cables. So you'll need, 24 XLR cables to go with this. Still cleans it up, obviously, but it might be better for a situation like this where you just need to like run the signal without really splitting to use the Mini. This seems like it's more for racks, running it longer distances and stuff like that. I almost wish I just had 3 of the Minis, because those come with XLR cables. So that's what I kind of like about that. It's still pretty cool. And again, 3 cables as opposed to 12, which would make it even more messy. It definitely works. Everything sounds great. We just did a sound check. Everything works well. I'll check back in after the show.
You are?
All right, this thing worked perfect, but it's 11:30 and I've been here for like 10 hours and I'm ready to go home. This thing worked perfect. I'm going home. So you might be asking, why not just use an XLR snake or something like that? Sometimes an XLR stage snake can be the way to go, depending on your needs. I know MIDAS and Behringer also make stage boxes that are meant specifically for their mixers and stuff like that. Get the right product for you. But some of the benefits of this specifically over like a stage snake and stuff like that are, first of all, you get the splitting option. You don't get that with the Mini, but with the other 2, you have the way to split the signal. I also really like that you can customize your own length of the cable. If you're playing like a really big stage and your stage snake and the cable is not long enough, there's nothing you can do pretty much. However, if you're using a system like this, you just change the cable length of the Cat 5 cable. And then you can use the right one depending on the size of the stage that you're playing on that day. That can also be really helpful. It's also really nice because if you already have like Cat 5 installed in a building or something like that, you can still run your audio using this as well. So that can be pretty helpful for studios or running sound from one room to another. And then last but not least, this is really helpful if you have to run signal very, very far, because Cat 5 audio can go really, really long without any signal loss. I like that there's like 3 different versions of this, so you can make the decision that's best for you in your setup. So you might ask, how does the audio quality? Well, I've actually been recording on this microphone the entire time on the Radial Mini right here. So you can see it's going in right here, and then it's going into the Cat 5 cable right here, which is going into my Apollo Twin interface. And yes, it does run phantom power. I'm using this microphone here, which requires phantom power, and I am able to have phantom power on my audio interface, and that works with this microphone, which brings me to some of the frequently asked questions that you probably are having, because I had them myself, and Radial actually has a very helpful website that answers most of these questions. So you can pause the screen if you want to read all of this, but some of the important ones: what kind of cable can you use? If you're using phantom power, you must use a shielded Cat5 or Cat6 cable. Otherwise, you can use unshielded Cat5 or Cat6. They do recommend shielded for the best audio quality. You cannot use this for speaker level signals. If you use unbalanced signal, it says you'll likely encounter noise. If you extend the cable beyond 25 feet, the ground lift might shut off the phantom power, and you can use it as a 2x2 or 3x1 bi-directional audio snake. Again, pause the screen if you want to find out more. As far as pricing, any of the mini catapults are $119. The Catapult Transmitter 4 and Receiver 4 are $229. If you do want the one with isolated outputs, that is $289. And then the Catapult Rack, Transmitter, and Receiver are each $299. I will have links for this down below. And also, if you are looking for one of the Cat5 or Cat6 Ethercon cables, one of the most affordable ones I found on Amazon are by this company right here. And I did use that one and it has worked really well. So I will link to that down below as well. So if you do decide this is something that's right for you and your needs, there are purchase links to purchase this down below. Some of the links down below will be affiliate links. If you do use those links, it's a free way to support the channel and no extra cost to you, and I would appreciate it. Again, many thanks to Radial for sending this over for me to check out. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button to feed those YouTube algorithm gods, and consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this in the future. I also did recently review a product by X5 that does run audio over Cat5 as well, and this one is specifically meant for in-ear monitors if you want to check out that video. And also, I did review a product by MIDAS that is a way to split the signal from your Behringer or your MIDAS mixers. It only works with those two mixers, but it is a cool way to split the audio from those mixers using Cat5 as well. So you can check out both of those videos by clicking the links on your screen now. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any other cool gear you want me to check out, please leave them as a comment down below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at ScottYoleMusic. I post a lot about my shows on there, especially on my stories. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.